I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Okay, I've been studying, I was a little worried because the doctors up there in Washington were trying to explain how great their data was. But, I had a guy from Stanford say just about the 100% opposite, that we don't know how many people have it. We only got an antibody test this week, and they just don't know. So to shut down the economy, well, maybe there's more afoot than we know. Maybe they're up to something else. Maybe it's just about keeping us home and out of traffic accidents. Anyway, on that note, let's go to the news. Today's news. Thank you for joining me. It's great to see you. Okay, talking on phones. Can you believe it? People are talking on their phones. Oops. That was bad. Okay, in an age of quarantine and social distancing, Americans are using phones to actually call and speak to people. Even my kids. Although we mostly use WhatsApp now because you can do that. Really, you can actually video chat right on WhatsApp, which is so excellent. We get to see the baby who's 5-hour drive away. Always been available, this feature. You could always use the phone for making calls, but it's rarely used and hardly ever advertised lately. Call duration is up 33%. 800 million calls a day increase, okay, is nearly twice the call. 800 million. It's handling about 800 calls. It's twice the volume it handles on Mother's Day, which is one of the big days for calling. So it's up, way up. Okay, calling minutes were up 57%. Wireless minutes were up 41%. Instant messaging was up 63%. Text messaging 41%. What's the difference between instant messaging and text messaging? I thought they were both SMS. I don't know. Okay, they figured out that the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic regions are now the leaders in staying at home. We're going to have a little more on that in a second. And it's fascinating what you can learn and how well they can track us and how well they know the data. Because here's a good one right here. I like this. Cell switches are off 35% in Southern California and 29% nationwide. What's a cell switch? Well, the whole way that the cell network works is that your phone is continuously measuring the delay between cell towers so it knows which one's the closest with the least delay. Got it? Because the speed of light is so slow or something like that. Anyway, it knows the next one that's getting closer. That's in your phone. It knows that. And so it knows when to switch to the next tower. I remember when I first got my first cell phone and I was talking to somebody in like Hawaii or somewhere. And my wife says, how can that little phone talk all the way to Hawaii? I says, not. It's just talking up to that tower right up there. But it knows. So if you're driving, that's kind of the point of cell phones back in the day. They were car phones back when they first got started. Mine was bolted in, right? So they were car phones, but by monitoring the cell switching, we know how much people are talking in their cars versus talking at home. This is also a great opportunity if you want to know home address and you got this and you've got cell data, and every now and then the cell phone will switch to cell data even if it's got Wi-Fi connection. You can identify everybody's location now, I guess. It's like, okay, you want your IP address, you want to know if they're at home. Today you can find out home address. And you can get a good lock on location. Scary idea. Verizon network for gaming has jumped 102%. It's double. I didn't even know Verizon, you could do gaming on it. I guess you can. Collaboration tools are increased 10 times. And we have a little challenge with that. Because Microsoft has to be on Google, on Chrome. That doesn't even make any sense that Microsoft would run on Chrome. It doesn't run on Firefox. Why would they be working with Google? Oh, well, anyway. Okay, so Google is also expanding on that, and you can actually get this. I'm not sure exactly how up to date this is. It was from March 31st, I think, so it was earlier in the week. But the problem is none of this data. It's the biggest problem in data. Nobody's showing the trends. Everybody wants to show this accuracy, this incredible precision. But what matters is the trends. And that's what I liked about the Talking on Phones article. Well, who wrote that? Media Post. Excellent job in comparative numbers, which are more important than the actual percent, even though they get mired into that. I'd rather they talked in fractions. It's up 1/2 because it's not. That precision is meaningless. The trend is what matters. Context is more important than data. I gave a talk on that once. Okay, here is the actual Wisconsin, and I can use Wisconsin because this is the Wisconsin DMA. Wisconsin mobility changes. Okay, and now Google did do some comparative, although I want to see it through time. Oh, and it did. Sorry, Google. I apologize. Here's the 16th, February 16th, March 8th, and March 29th. So we can see if this is the baseline, because they do show a baseline. So that'll be the average. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll draw it in. This is baseline. And this is comparison to baseline. This distance. This distance right there. Got it? Okay. So what they're saying is, and it must be, well, they're going, they don't show a zero scale, but they say it's down 55% from baseline. Okay, so retail 55%, and the hard part about that is if you go and do takeout, I don't even know if you can still do takeout in Wisconsin. I did it on the last day before the big shutdown. I know you can. The car repair place was still open, and the gas station. Okay, grocery was down 30%, even though grocery stores are pretty much open, and pharmacies are too. So that's that shows you people are staying in. Don't go out if you don't have to. Now this one I thought was excellent. This is across the whole state of Wisconsin. Parks are pretty close to even Steven. Down a little. But you get us a sunny day and we'll be right back up there. Okay, and that's good because in the Spanish flu, and I'm going to call it that because that's historically what they called it. In the Spanish flu, and I heard yesterday that that's because Spain had uncensored media, and so they talked about the flu a lot, and none of the other countries did, and so they just were writing the most stories, and it was picked up all over the world, and so they got labeled with it, even though it wasn't that prevalent in Spain. My nose looks red in this camera. No makeup though. Okay, and so they would put people out in the sunshine and fresh air. They would take them. They had these massive tent cities, and they would put you out on a cot in the sunshine, and that they felt was effective. So before antibiotics, sunshine, fresh air. I'm a big believer in that right now. Transit stations. I don't know that there are any transit stations in Wisconsin, but they're down. Workplaces down 34%. Some are still here. There's some cars out here. There's probably half the cars, but there's a lot of cars in the industrial park. Residential 13%. So it's interesting how you could quantify that. Here's something that I missed actually. Tangi. It's a new product coming out from Google, and the idea is that it'll be a TikTok alternative. Okay, so let's scroll down. Recently, Google's in-house incubator launched Tangi, a short-form video content platform. Okay, that's what it is. And so the idea is to compete with TikTok, right? So if you didn't hear about it, now you know. Social video sharing app, Tangi, the most recent project to come out of Google's in-house incubator. And it launched in the end of January. How is it different? They're both short-form video. How TikTok and Tangi have different features. Tangi focuses more on the aspect of DIY and learning stuff, which is great because I love how-to videos. That's how I fix my dishwasher, my washing machine, my dryer, my furnace. On the contrary, Tangi's competitors like TikTok lean toward providing entertainment. My guess is that Google will rethink that when they get going. Okay, so it's available. It's developed, but Google is not. It's not available on Android, which is kind of funny. They're putting it out on the Apple OS. Here's the catch. It's an app developed by Google, but absent on the Android, and it's been reported that even if you have it installed on your iOS device, you can't instantly publish videos, um, which is so it's a little bit wacky, but they're working on it. Okay, so that's good, I guess. Now here's the article I wanted to get to. Retailers give back during the COVID 19 crisis. eBay launched an accelerator program. Through this program called Up and Running, eBay pledged up to 100 million in support for small businesses. You can get, even if you're a retailer, start trying to sell something. You know, go to the back room, see what you got laying around, get on eBay. The very first online purchase I made was a cheesehead hat. Good story for Wisconsin. I called up a retailer in Wisconsin somewhere, I think Manitowoc, and I said, "Hey, can you ship this to Florida?" They said, "Sure," because I got it for my mom actually, and she'd wear it to to parties at her condo. She loved it. Fact is, she loved it. But anyway, I said, "How are you taking these orders?" And he said, "Well, I just write them down when people call in." I said, "You mean you don't have the internet?" He said, "I don't even have a computer." He was just taking calls. He put an ad up on something, eBay, I'm guessing. And although no, I think I just Googled, Google wasn't there, probably Lycos or something like that. We had nothing in those days, and I wrote in cheesehead hat and found him, and I don't know whatever happened to the guy, but you don't need much. So sell something in the back room, right? Try it. Get started. Sales Floor is a virtual associates program so that you can keep your employees paid. You don't have to. They can work as independent consultants in a commission-based model. I'm not sure how that all works, but check it out. Sales Floor. You're waiving their annual licensing fee to help the retail community. Carhartt is going to be making medical gowns starting April 6th and mass production April 20th. You may be a little late to the party, Carhartt. And would you really want a canvas face mask? You'd probably suffocate. 27 brands are giving money to COVID-19 charities. Pop Sockets, that's Becky. I got to get in touch with Becky. She used to be at Land's End, but now she's, I think, the CMO over at Pop Sockets. They're doing a couple of special designs. They're going to send money to Doctors Without Borders and Feeding America. Kenneth Cole is donating 20% of net sales to the World Health Organization. I'm not sure about that. They're the ones who said it was not communicable. And you don't need masks. And it's no big deal. So that was the World Health Organization. That's one that we maybe should reconsider. Bill Gates is one of the big funders of that. Anyway, just to tell you there's some good news out there. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Have a great day. I don't have any really good graphics today, do I? Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. A lot of times it picks up on the last thing I put up. Okay, so like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Predictive modeling. We'll talk about that next. Bye-bye.